Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Uh, how is everyone doing today? What's going on? I'm ready. I am ready to give you guys some great content for the last day of the series. What's going on, guys? Sorry, I'm a little late. Trooper just posted a vlog. Be right back. Um, what's up? Just say hello to you guys. Where uh, where are you guys today? Um, where are you from and stuff like that. I mean, who's in the house? Hopefully, some more people join in a little bit. But they could rewind, so we will get started right now. Let me just fix a couple things. Okay. All right, guys. So what's up? So I wanted to tell a story to start off with. Um, Apologies. I want to tell a story to start off with. You guys might have noticed how social I am, how I'm able to. What's up, Richard from Atlanta? How social I am, how I'm able to go up to business owners, girls to get their Hello Vigos, things like that. Well, in high school, I went to an all boys high school, so I had to literally go up to girls on the street. I went up to them in Starbucks, Barnes and Nobles, things like that. Of course, there was the way of meeting them at dances, but those the girls at dances tended not to be girlfriend material. They tended to be hoes. Um, so let's get into the first topic. Again, if you guys have any questions, just put them in chat, and I will answer them during question breaks. Okay, so our first topic is going to be EINs, or employment identification numbers, and these you should get right away. Don't delay. There's some benefits to go with it. You can buy discounted soda, discounted candy at certain locations, like Sam's Club with an EIN. They're very easy to get. Just get one online, and you'll be good. Um, Landing on that, the next thing that follows is a DBA, which stands for doing business as. You should definitely get one of these right away as well. Let me just fix this a little bit. You should definitely get one of these right away as well. You can get them at your town hall. They're usually around $10. They might be 15 or $20 if you live in an area with high tax rates. You will need an original business name. If your name, the name you've picked out, is already being used in that town, you cannot use it. You can use names that are outside of your town, so that's cool. Um, After this, I would go right to the bank and get a business account. This will allow you to start building credit in the name of your business. And that's good for a lot of reasons. You can get a vehicle for your business, and indemnify that under insurance under your business name as well. This is obviously if you're getting big. You're going to get the credit card, your own vehicle, things like that. You bought a condom machine after my. Where'd you buy the condom machine, Herman? I'm just wondering. That's funny. Where are you going to put it? A truck stop? I would think. I don't know. I would think that's like one of the only ways you. Or a nightclub, I guess, or a strip club. Okay, so our next topic that follows right along with the DBA is, should you get an LLC? That's the next thing. Should you get an LLC? And this really depends on how big you are. If you just have like under 10 machines, even under 20 machines, going and get an LLC might not be so cost effective for you. You can get an LLC pretty easily online for like $400. But if you live in a small town, where the lawyers don't charge high rates, I would actually perhaps perhaps just go to a local lawyer to get the to go to a local lawyer. Sorry guys, I'm just fixing a couple things right now. Go to a local lawyer, and the rates might be the same or even cheaper than online, because local lawyers are sometimes hard up for business, and they might want to give you a better deal than online, and you also have the benefit of actually having gone to a lawyer. If anything happens, they would be liable. So the next topic, let's see if there's any questions really quick. You bought it from, and you're selling it to a local college? Why don't you, oh, you mean you're placing it at a local college and you're giving them a 10% cut. 10% is great. That's great. Okay, so let's kind of break really quick and just talk about some links I have set up for you guys. These are some passive income books. First of all, let me just say, since we're beginning the stream again on episode 3, my name is Vigo Bowman. I'm from Manhattan. I have a lot of experience in the vending business, among other things, and that's all we're going to be talking about today. You might want to start off with some passive income books. This is my favorite one. I talked about this over the past couple of days, The Richest Man in Babylon. Basically, it just talks about lending money as a source of passive income. And one day I'm actually going to do a video or a live stream about Lending Club. I've been investing in Lending Club since 2009, and I've gotten a rate of 10.5% all the way since then. I've invested in literally thousands of loans, over 50,000 loans invested in. You can invest in a loan for as little as $25. And no, I'm not getting paid by Lending Club at all to say that. Just by the way, they're a big corporation, but it has worked out well for me to put some money in there. The next book, of course, is Rich Dad Poor Dad. This guy is kind of known as a huckster because he does seminars where you have to pay and pay and pay to get to the next step to actually learn what he's trying to teach. But the books are cheap, $7.99, and you will get a lot of information. Not necessarily about setting a business up, but you'll get the motivation and some of the ways he does do things. And I actually started my vending business after reading this very particular book in August of 2010. I read this, and I had read The Richest Man in Babylon a few months earlier, and I bought my first vending machines on Amazon. These are a couple of the machines you can buy. All these links are in the description. I would go with this one, or I would go with this one as a starter machine. If you want to get right into it, this is actually the best deal. It is $250, but this will last you years. I have the same company for my first machine. It is still there since 2010. I have replaced a bunch of parts. Okay, so enough of those links. Let us get to the good stuff. And the good stuff is, of course, getting locations. I've already talked about getting locations, but you can never talk about getting locations enough. So the only hard part about the vending business, literally, guys, this is the only hard part about the vending business, is getting locations. I'll say that again. It is the only difficult part. The only reason vending businesses fail is because they are unable to get locations, or your wife took your vending business in divorce. So what's the moral of the story there? Don't get married. Um, Seriously, guys, unless she's really worth it. No, just take it from me. Um, if you're not a people person, you better get used to being a people person, because you will not succeed in this business at all. We're going to talk about location finding services later, and you'll see why those aren't necessarily the best way to go. You have to be able to start a conversation with a complete stranger on a whim. You're gonna have a very hard time being successful in the business. You are not ditched though. You can practice this. You could approach women on the street, maybe get some dates if you're not attached. You could approach people in the subway station. They might think you're crazy. You could talk to people at the gas station, at your Dunkin' Donuts. Go to a diner. This is a great way to learn how to talk to people. Go to a diner and sit at the counter. Go to Denny's, sit at the counter. Go to IHOP, sit at the counter, and chat up the waitress, chat up the cooks, chat up the manager. But you have to get used to talking to people, or this business is just not for you. So the next topic is locations again. Locations again. I just want to drill locations into you guys, because locations are the most important part of this business. And if you're not getting locations, let's say you have 30 machines, let's say you have 60 machines. If you don't continuously get locations, one day you'll have 20 machines, one day you'll have 15, and eventually you'll have 5 machines, and you might as well not be doing this anymore. Unless you just like driving around, of course, and I'm picking up errand quarters. Um, because even if you don't lose locations, business is going to lag at certain locations. Um, their customers are going to drop off. Those businesses are going to lay off employees. Those employees are going to be gone, and they're not going to be buying as much soda anymore either. Um, so that's why it's so important to get locations. So what do you do when you go into what do you do when you go into a business? You walk in. You I had a bit of a migraine this morning, guys. It's part of the reason why the stream started late. I wasn't gonna just not do the last day though, so that's why I might be a little off. But I should warm up as we get going. So what do you do when you walk into a patient? You say, "Hi, my name is Vigo Bowman. My name is Joe Geoff, and I passed by your store today when I was in the neighborhood. I noticed that you didn't have a vending machine, and they are going to tell you right away if there's one in the back. If there's no machine there, I just continue on, and they'll usually entertain you without interruption. Tell them the benefits of having a machine in their business. Tell them it could only help if they have a big employee base. It will keep the employees in the business. And if they don't have a big employee base and they just have a lot of customers coming in, like oil lube places, or Chinese restaurants or laundromats, then it will keep those customers happy while they're in the business. So tell them you charge nothing to put their soda machines in the business. And if they ask about money, only if they ask, guys, only if they ask about money, will you say that you'll give them 15% of the revenue that you collect from the machines. If they kind of scoff at that, then go to 25. I would not go above that unless it was a great account, like a supermarket, like a mall, a school, or a hospital. Those are all great situations to be in, and you should almost bend over backwards to get into one of those, but not quite literally. You just have to remember to grow your relationship too. your business is going to fail if you're not talking with the owners. Talk to them about their girlfriend. Talk to them about concerts, bands they like. Talk to them about their hobbies. Talk about work you've done on your truck, work they've done on their truck. Do they were they in the military? Do they like motorsports? Anything and everything. Do they have tattoos? Show them your tattoos if you have them. Talk about good local artists. Make the connection. This is the most important part. The only way you're going to lose machines is if the business closes or someone else comes along and they ask that business to put a machine in there and the owner or manager is not happy with you. But if you make a connection, then you'll be fine. Again, the only times I've lost accounts is the business closed. They happen, and that's why you should keep on looking for new accounts, guys. See if there's any questions. Did vending business machines pick up my artistry game? No, my pickup artistry game was already there, Herman. Like I said in the beginning, for those who didn't see, I went to an all-boys high school, so I had to pick up girls literally off the street. I would like see them walking down the street on the way to hockey practice or cross country, and I would go up to them. Or if I was doing homework on the weekends in Starbucks or Barnes & Nobles, also looking for women, I would just go up to them. And a lot of times, they were a lot older than me, and usually they were at NYU since I grew up near NYU, and I would just lie about my age, and usually I get caught in that lie, but it would usually be a good few weeks before I got caught in that lie. Are big companies like Walmart worth bothering with? Definitely. So, like, if they're will I make a pickup series? Maybe after the trail, I'll make a pickup series. Are big companies like Walmart worth bothering with? Yes. If a new Walmart is opening up in town, yes. I've never actually gone into a Walmart. It's very possible, and I'm not sure about this. It's very possible that they they actually own the machines instead of sourcing them out to companies. But I would go to malls. Even if they have a vendor, there might be like additions they're building to the mall. Ice skating rinks. Let me just bring up the locations really quick and talk about those again. Hold on, guys. Those locations up. Where are the locations? I wasn't necessarily planning on talking about locations again, but I'll bring those up. Why are they not here? Okay, here we go. Locations. So, best locations to try. There's going to be oil change shops, bus depots. I don't mean where the Greyhound stops off. I mean where the city buses are worked on, where the city buses, where the actual drivers go in the morning and night when they go on shift. School bus depots are actually also very good. I've had a location at a school bus depot before. And that was one of my first big accounts that I landed after I bought my account. And if you guys are new to the stream today, I started off with candy machines, 2 candy machines that I bought off Amazon. I bought my candy at Sam's Club. I bought gumballs, and I bought. Hold on one second. I bought double bubble gumballs, and I bought Skittles for my first candy vending machine. And those you can see the types of machines in the links below. If you want to get started quickly, that's the best way to do. Just buy a couple machines on Amazon. If you could wait a little while, buy on Craigslist or Facebook. Facebook Marketplace might work too, though I've never actually bought on Facebook. So getting back to locations, auto collision centers are great. I've actually had a few accounts there. I know that's really random, But I got one of my first accounts at an auto collision place. They had literally 6 buildings surrounding the center, and all those employees would just go to the central building where the machine was located and buy the shit out of my soda. And you actually that shop was in my big vending video. When you see me filling the machine, that's that machine. So let's see, factories of any kind. Um, I've never had a machine in a factory, but those would be good places to go. I've had machines in factory-like settings, like my cemetery locations, where there's just workers and you cold soda during the summer. So schools, those are obviously really good to have. Very hard to get into. That's a saturated market. What I mean again by saturated is people are going to be all the way already in there, and the hard thing about schools also these days is that they tend not to let their students buy soda anymore. So a lot of the people you're going to be selling soda to are the teachers, which is also great because if it's a big public school, if it's a big pirate school, there's going to be a lot of teachers and you'll get enough business from them. I said skating rinks, those gyms with trampolines, BMX parks are also very good. Let me add that in there. Supermarkets, large parks with public bathrooms. I know that sounds a little weird. You could plug the machine outside. In New York, along the Riverwalk, we have like little gazebo type things where you could plug machines into the side of buildings. Big cemeteries, they have large ground crews, and that gets to the fact that this is a very seasonal business, and you guys will not be making money during the winter time unless you live in warmer climates that the southern states provide for you. And you guys in Northern Ireland, if you're watching today, again, it's probably going to be a little cold during the winter for you as far as this goes. Police stations, also great. Those guys just tend to hang out sometimes in some towns at their police station, even when they're off duty. Shopping malls, I already said, and then OTB places. You want to get locations where there's people there all day. So like a place like OTB, if you're not familiar with that, that refers to off-track betting. Those gamblers are there all day long. And they're just going to be drinking soda and eating snacks. They can't drink alcohol there usually. So they're drinking soda, eating snacks, and smoking cigarettes outside. If your state law allows you to, I would put a cigarette machine in there as well to get some good revenue going. And some things also, I haven't mentioned this in the first 2 days. There's very big gumball machines. I don't have a picture. I might do another recap tomorrow, but I'm not going to promise that, so don't expect it. I do have a lot to do to prepare for the trail, and I need to just get out there. So I would say the likelihood of tomorrow's stream is about 30%. Anyway, there are some very big kind of gumball machines. They're literally 5 or 6 feet tall. They have massive heads, even bigger than mine. I know my head is pretty big. They're usually plexiglass, and they have a spiral coming down on the inside. Sometimes that spiral is even lit up. You could literally fit like 5 or 6 of these boxes of gumballs in there. If you do get a machine like that, I wouldn't recommend putting that many in there. I'd literally recommend putting like 3 boxes in there, because these gumballs do go bad and you're not going to make that much money. Where would you put machines like that? Malls. So you might be able to get into a mall if they don't have one of those. Realize in malls there's a lot of children. You have to make sure your product is fresh. Not necessarily all the time. I always try to be honest. Sometimes your product's not going to be fresh. Unless you get complaints, you'll be fine. Candy tends to go bad in certain environments more than others, but in places like malls that are frequented by a lot of people and some people that might complain, you want to make sure your product is fresh, because you don't want parents complaining that the gumball was really hard. You'd also put those type of novelty machines, I guess you can call them, the big gumball machines, in diners. and they're going to do really well. And they're usually placed in the vestibule of a diner. I don't know if everyone has diners where they live. Little luncheonettes or little restaurants like Perkins might allow you to put a big gumball machine in the vestibule. Can you guys see Luke? He wants to be in the stream, I guess. That's pretty funny. So again, feel free to ask questions, and I'll take a break with those in a bit. Let's see what the next topic was, guys. I think it actually might be, no, okay, so the next topic is location finder services, and I promised that I would talk about this today. Should you use a location finder service? And the definite answer to that question is a big, big no. You should not be using a locations finder service, guys. They are working for themselves. They're not working for you. So in general, let's define a location finder service. You are paying them a fee per location they find for your soda machine, your candy machine, or your ATM machine. And someone remind me if I forget to talk about ATM machines later. Please remind me to talk about ATM machines later. So they are a business that charges you to go around to local businesses in the areas you tell them to, and find locations. And a lot of people think that they're pretty good at this job because you know what, they're just salesmen. So they tend to be very pushy, and they're going to try to kind of brass knuckle their way into businesses just to get a piece of paper signed, or just to get a yes from the manager or owner about placing a machine there. The problem with this is the business did not meet you. They don't have a personal connection to you. They just met the representative. You might be asking yourself, well, who cares? Like, at least I have the location there. The problem is, again, I'm gonna stress this: vending companies need to be social companies. You need to have a connection to your clients to keep them happy and to keep them buying your products, especially if it's an employee-run location. What I mean by employee-run is they're just employees working there, like factories, auto collision places, cemeteries, things like that. When I go into when I have candy machines in a laundromat or a Chinese restaurant or even my soda machines, I'll talk about that in a second. When I have my candy machines, I will have little styrofoam cups or cups, paper cups the size of like a small Dunkin' Donuts coffee, if you know what I mean. And so maybe like this small, like this vitamin bottle, like this small. And I will fill the one with gumballs, and I will fill one with Skittles, and I will fill one with Mike and Ike's if it's a triple head. And I will give this to the manager and tell them to pass them out. Tell them to pass the candy out. And what that's going to do is it's going to ensure continued sales, because even in locations like Chinese restaurants and laundromats, that have a lot of customers coming in, sometimes the employees make up more of your sales than do the customers. So participate in their Super Bowl pools, participate in their NASCAR pools. I don't do that all the time, but I have, and a lot of times I've actually won, which is quite funny. I noticed that the cursor doesn't necessarily stream around on the stream, but only on my screen. So I'm gonna stop doing that. I noticed on replay yesterday that you guys couldn't actually see what I was pointing to. I wasn't aware of that, so apologies on that one. A placement company only wants a yes. They're not creating a relationship. Businesses may just say yes to get them out of the store, get them out of the factory. You could end up going to the business later on to actually place your machine, and them saying, oh yeah, by the way, we don't want your machine. You know what? I don't care that I signed this piece of paper. Get out. And you know what? What's your only recourse, really, if they did sign a contract with you? Like, you have to take them to court. and the cost and the time related with that are not worth it. And guess what? You still pay the location service. What's your recourse against them? Taking them to court, and you're still paying money and time. You might not get those court fees back, and you're just wasting your time. Do not use the location service. I can't stress this enough. If you're not good at talking to people, get out on the street and learn. Go to diners and talk to the waitresses. The best location service finders are going to be your family and your best friends, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your brother, your sister, your retired parents, and even your retired grandparents are going to be the best location service finders. They are going to be the ones that actually care about you. They care about your success, and they might even benefit in the end. I doubt they'll be thinking about that, but they might benefit from that. And you could make this a family type deal, like when you want to go on vacation, you could have your brother, you could have your sister, you could have your parents, take care of your machines. If you're hiking the Appalachian Trail like me, like maybe you could have someone take care of your machines during those months you're away. If you're going to training in the military after college, after high school, and you got a couple of these machines, you need someone to take care of them, because taking care of them is better than selling them usually. Unless you're moving away from the area and your family doesn't want to necessarily take care of them themselves. Is there any questions? Please be sure to include some questions, guys. Okay, so I wanted to show you. I actually had a couple cool links for you guys. And that really just has to do with the books I was mentioning. So the richest man. Now the reason I keep on stressing books is because they're going to give you the motivation to actually get into this business. So the richest man in Babylon and Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm going to put a couple more books in the links, maybe another time when I'm editing stuff. But I had a cool link that I found for you guys. Now this is a free month of Kindle Unlimited. Of course, and if you don't want to keep on with Kindle Unlimited after, you'll have to pay. But you could read all these books that I've mentioned for free on Kindle with this 30-day trial. The link for this is in the description. Right in the description. And if you wanted to buy a couple of machines on Amazon, but you didn't want to deal with the shipping, this is a link to get Prime for free, and this is at the bottom of the description of this video. So that's all I'll say about that for right now. The next topic I wanted to talk about was, can I skip candy and go directly to soda? I know that some of you people wanted to skip candy, and it's not a good idea. I would definitely say no. Go into candy first. All you have is time. I mean, if you're gonna die soon, you're gonna die soon. So don't worry about that. I would just I would go with the candy machines. I would get a couple of candy machines, and I would see if this is the business for you. Those videos, those articles that say vending businesses aren't worth it are written by people that want to sell you something else. And vending businesses are very worth it. You just have to be a people person. You have to build those relationships. I can't stress that enough. So you should get your candy machines first. Have a couple months experience with that. So I literally started, so let me tell you about that. I started in August of 2010 with my candy machines. 2 candy machines, one in a diner, one in a laundromat. After about 6 weeks to 8 weeks, I really learned that the one in the diner wasn't doing good business. So I moved that to a Chinese restaurant that was close by me. It started doing much better. At that time, I bought 2 more vending machines on Amazon. I wasn't really into Craigslist yet at this time. I was playing a lot of online poker, and that was my priority. One day I was playing online poker in Panera. That was like my stomping ground. They used to have those small, not offices. They used to have like small enclosed rooms. I think they still have them. They're like glass rooms. I guess for like functions. And I would play in the glass back room in the back, and I'd be the only one in there all day long playing poker. Um, but what I was getting at was, so one day I was playing poker in Panera in the back, and I started browsing Craigslist for soda machines. And I found, I hit upon one right away, and the sale was four soda machines for $2,500. I told the story the first day, I think. And I bumped them down to $2,400 over the phone. This was for four machines. This is you. I mean, if you guys find a deal like this, tell me. I might go and cut you up and take the deal myself. No, I'm just joking. But the guy really needed money, I guess. He had lost his job a few months earlier, and he was selling four machines for $2,400. Again, you're not going to find that deal. If you do, you're very lucky. Two of those machines were really good money makers, and two of them were a bust. But that didn't matter because they had machines, so I just moved the two machines to other locations, and those were some of my first locations: the bus depot and an auto lube place that I got on my own. Maintenance. You guys had a question about maintenance, so I actually I have a little secret about maintenance. I'm not going to share it today. I can't give out all the yes. So candy machines, sick wit, candy machines. The question was, should I start a vending business with candy machines or soda machines? Definitely candy machines first. Um, Maintenance. I have a little secret about maintenance and how I would go about that, and I'm not going to share that today just because I've given out so much information, and I'm happy to, but I have to save some for future videos. I plan on doing kind of a master class, like Herman was mentioning earlier, after I get back from the trail on a few topics on Lending Club, on vending, and even on ATM machines. But as far as maintenance goes, I will tell you that it is very easy to fix candy machines. And I know, Nick, you had a question yesterday about fixing soda machines rather than candy machines because you kind of figured out that that was easy. The only things that I've actually had break on me, I've had some big parts break over me on the years. Those are some older machines I had. I had a compressor breakdown. Again, I'm going to get into that secret way of fixing machines later, but the things like the bill collector, some of the change ports, the plastic change ports that go down from the actual entrance to the machine to the change bucket, those do wear out. All easy to replace. You need a screwdriver, um, and maybe a pair of pliers, a couple of wrenches. You should be able to place those. I know that some of you don't have those abilities. I would go to Family First, and then I would go to YouTube and look at some repair videos on how to repair vending machines. I'm not sure if there's any out there. If there's not, maybe I'll make one. Um, but beyond that, I would go on Craigslist and I would ask, I would do an ad for a vending repair. I would start with car mechanics perhaps, or I would even go to some schools in my area. I would either go and even go to some schools in my area and ask to talk to the custodial staff. Usually they have some mechanical abilities. Are there any legalities in the vending business? So the only legalities there's going to be is your local town, your local county, perhaps your state laws dealing with taxes. Of course, you're going to pay your income tax. That's up to you, but regarding like tax stamps, some towns and some counties require you to put a tax stamp on the back of the machine, on the side of the machine. And what you're doing is you're paying them like a quarterly fee, usually a yearly fee, just to have the machine in place in a business that's located within that town or in that county. So I said I was going to talk about ATM machines a little bit, and that's advanced. That's advanced vending. And ATM machines are vending. Sometimes they're misclassified. But ATM machines are indeed vending. And you can make upwards of $2,000 a month or more in profit. I have had two ATM machines. I'm not getting into ATM machines today. really. But I will say that you can make a lot of money. You're going to make at minimum around $1,200. You can make all the way up to $4,000 a month, depending on the rate you're charging for the money to come out of the machine, um, and uh, and how much money the actual machine holds, and how often you're going to replace it, replace the money, and how many customers the business has. The best place to place vending machines. I'll do a couple. Okay, I'll do a couple. The best place to place ATM machines are going to be delis, gas stations. People need readily available money. The second best place, even though they take credit cards, people like to pay in cash sometimes. Maybe people are picking up cash at the gas station or the deli to go to a local bar. Again, a lot of ATM machines, which are vending machines, are going to be already at that deli or that gas station, but you're going to be able to find new ones because new ones are opening every single day, um, and just one second. And they're extremely profitable. So there's a danger with ATM machines. You need a gun. You need a gun. There's no two ways about it. You need to have a permit, which can be a real bitch to get. In New York City, it's nearly impossible to get a permit. Not impossible though. You need to go through a lengthy application process, interviews, fingerprints. Obviously, you have to get fingerprints probably everywhere you need to get a gun, but they do not hand them out like candy, like they might in rural areas. But the thing with ATM machines is you will be filling those machines with a lot of cash. And if you have multiple machines, you're going to have a lot of cash with you. And we're talking upwards of $15,000 to $25,000 a day, because ATM machines hold between $3,000 and $8,000 depending on what type of machine. The $3,000 machines are going to be those small box like machines you see on top of like counters and diners. They're bolted in, you can't steal them, but and the bigger machines are going to be those big machines you see in gas stations, kind of like the machine that the meth heads stole in Breaking Bad. The ones that Jesse was in the house when they got home, and they came home with the vending machine trying to break it open. Those are going to be the bigger machines. Luke has made an appearance again. I don't know if you guys see Luke right now. He's made an appearance. But that's to do with ATM machines. I actually had my uncle, who also has a gun permit, help me out with the ATM machines when I was away, because the other part about that is that the ATM machines are going to be like sandwich machines, or machines where there's perishable goods like yogurt and sandwiches, or coffee machines even. And the reason coffee machines have to be serviced all the time is not because coffee grinds go bad, but because those machines do not hold a big capacity of grinds and or water. Sometimes they have reservoirs, and they are not connected to an actual water source. So they have to be serviced regularly to fill grinds, water, filters, cups, things like that. So that's the thing with ATM machines, that one of the big reasons I didn't get into them is because I like to go places, I like to go play cards, I like to travel a lot, and they have to be filled with money every 3 days if the business you're putting it in is worth it. And you're going to set limits with the ATM machines as well. A good limit to set is about $120 to $160. Some vending machines, ATM machines, give out $10 bills, and that could be good if you're in a low income area, but usually you're going to be in multiples of 20. And you want to keep the amount low that you're setting it to, so that there could be multiple vends, multiple withdrawals of money. Sometimes people might have to take out a couple withdrawals, but that's on them. They should have went to a bank. So the most profitable places, what I mean by most profitable, is also always going to be the delis and the gas stations with ATM machines. But the most profitable per pull is going to be nightclubs. Some nightclubs in New York charge literally, and I'm not exaggerating, $8 to $10 per pull just to take money out of their ATM machines. That is a lot of money. Like I said, you could make upwards of $4,000 a month if you're in a good location. So profit on a five triple head candy machines. I'll tell you that in a second. But ATM machines, I will have a class on one day, and I might get those in the future when I move, and you'll see some more of those in real life. You'll see me going around. I'm not sure how safe that would be to put on here, but just know that I will be carrying, and I'm serious when I'm filling my ATM machines. So profit on a triple head. So triple heads, by the way, guys, don't think necessarily triple head is better than double head. You're gonna make the same amount of money on both. I mean, the thing is, triple head machines tend to be lower cost when you're buying them, but remember that the double heads are usually more durable. Unless, of course, you're doing like LYPC, those triple heads are going to be as durable as most double heads, as most good double heads. 800 vending. I have a bunch of 800 vending machines. I don't know if you guys have seen one in a video. I don't know. You have not seen one in a video. Basically, let's see. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so I have a picture for you guys, I think. Give me 1 second. I don't want to, okay, this should be good. Okay, so this right here is exactly what I'm talking about when I say 800 vending machine. I have a bunch of these. If you could see these right here. This is an 800 vending machine. You see the gumballs in the middle. The gumballs are always going to be in the middle because it has to do with the metal pole that's in there, and that kind of filters the gumballs, and it cannot be on either side. So you're going to have Skittles, and so in this one you see Skittles, gumballs, and peanut M&Ms. Like I said, usually you don't do peanut M&Ms. One thing, they're more expensive, and another, they're going to melt in a lot of your locations like laundromats and Chinese restaurants. So this is one of the ones I was talking about when I was talking about costs of your candy machines. These are going to cost between $100 and $125. This is what you should be paying. You should be paying between $100 and $125 used on Craigslist for one of these triple head 800 candy machines. These actually cost $300 new, I believe. And you're a sucker if you're paying $300 for these. The company, I'm not sure if they're still in business. I'm pretty sure they are. They sell them for $300 a pop at 10 a piece, and that's why you could usually find them on Craigslist for new, because these people are buying 10 or 20, even 20 machines, and they're not placing any of them, and they're trying to unload them on Craigslist for between $175 and $225 usually. And I've talked them down. I've actually gotten 6 of these for $80 a piece. When I used my negotiation methods that I referred to either yesterday or on Tuesday. So that's an 800 vending machine. What else right now? Do I roll my change? I do not roll my change. I do sort through my change because I love silver. Is that profitable? Probably not. With the amount of change you're going to be getting from your machines, it's probably not profitable to sit down at your kitchen table and look through your quarters and your dimes and even your nickels. I've definitely stopped doing the nickels, looking for silver. There are silver nickels, so you guys know they're like 1942 to 1945. There's actually only specific ones, I believe. I'm not going to get into silver right now, but I do love silver. I have a great collection of silver, and I always look through my quarters and my dimes. Silver is waning in like the open market, I guess, in public with these big batches, but it is exciting to find quarters and dimes, especially from your machine. So I do look through them. Is it profitable? Probably not. Some might say it is. The best way to get silver, I made a video about that. I know some of you already know that. Is to go to your local bank and ask for the loose $half, because usually those are what question was that? Just repeat it real quick, because I'm not necessarily looking at the chat window. Sickwit. The best way to do that is just to get loose $half at banks. If you want to get really serious about it, you could ask them to order you quarters and dimes to sort through. I've never done that, but I do know people that do. Let me just see what. Oh, so I'm sorry. Good ballpark estimate. Got you. I just looked at the chat again. So you're going to make between $21 and $50 on your candy machines, whether those be triple heads or double heads. That's wrong. You're going to make between $14 and $50 on your triple heads, and the average is going to be around $21 to $22 a month. I'm giving you real numbers. I'm not going to tell you you're going to make $35, $40 a month on these. But remember, these are just, these are the base of operations. This is what you're starting with. And look, if you have 10 triple heads at $21 a month, that's $210 a month. And the profit you asked about the profit you would make on $21 is about $13 to $14 a month profit after candy costs and after profit sharing with the business, with the laundromat, with the Chinese restaurant, with the dry cleaning, with this shopping mall you have your big giant gumball machine in that I hope some of you guys get. Those are profitable. So between $14 and $50 a month. I have made upwards of $50 to even $60 very rarely in spots like pizza places that are right next to schools. You always want to do stuff that's right next to schools. Kids eat candy. Kids eat this old style candy still, guys. And they're going to use their errant quarters. They're going to use their change from getting a slice of pizza at lunch if their school lets them go out for lunch, or definitely after school when they're all fighting with each other and playing with each other. They're gonna buy candy. So if you can get a restaurant near a school, you're gonna do really well. I have made upwards of $50 a month off of my candy machines, but again, that's gonna be rare. The average is gonna be $21 a month. You should be making back your costs for your candy machine, what you paid for it, realistically in 8 months. If you have good locations, it could take you upwards of a year. That's the golden standard is is a year. So like if you buy a soda machine, if you buy a candy machine, if you buy a route, so they're going to be the golden standard really for the route. Like, so let's say you paid $15,000 for a five soda machine route, which is a pretty fair market rate for a business that's thriving. Let's say you paid $15,000. You want to make that back within 1 year. So that's going to be the standard. I will talk about selling your vending business in another video. That's a completely different topic for a completely different time. So let me just go through the slides. Let's do a recap, and if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. Please let me know after I'm done or during, and then I'll get to your question. Okay, so locations. We already went through this today. I will go through this again really quick. You guys could maybe screenshot the slides. I know I actually forgot to bring the slides up yesterday, like I said I would. So here you go again. This is locations. Next slide is sourcing your product. Again, you want to go to your local supermarkets for soda. Even if you're getting big. Now, let me cut back really quick, because even if you are getting big, I didn't get into this over the last 3 days. Even if you are getting big, you're not going to be going to Coke. You're not going to be going to Pepsi. You're not going to be going through your big distributors unless you are actually somehow related to them, or you can make friends, or you won a bunch of money off them in poker, and you kind of want to press them and maybe make believe like they might get some of that back one day in the game. I know that's off tangent, but these are things that have happened to me in real life. Um, so the thing with going to a big distributor like Coke or Pepsi, well, those are the actual people that make the soda, is that they are going to charge you a lot more than even Sam's Club would. I know I went through the numbers yesterday, and Sam's Club is going to charge you 33.5 cents a can on average, and that's before tax, and that is before bottle deposit. Um, Coke and Pepsi are going to charge you upwards of 41 cents a can. Really quick, 41 cents a can. Let's see what that comes out to be. That's going to be a case for $9.84. And sourcing from local supermarkets like ShopRite, like Stop and Shop, Hannaford's, or anything you have in your local area, is gonna allow you to buy a case for $5 or $6 at maximum if you're getting good sales. If you're really looking through the circulars, um, see right here, I had said that a can of soda at Sam's Club was 33.5 cents, going off 11.73, and the worst deal you're gonna get at these supermarkets, at least in my area, which is probably one of the most expensive areas in the country, is going to be 30.5 cents a can on the best deals I'm getting, even in the summer, because people are having big sales during the summer. Even foregoing the Labor Day sales and the July 4th sales, the best deal I've ever gotten is 20.8 cents a can, and over 200 cases between Sam's Club and that 20.8 cents a can. That's going to save me 600. That's going to save you $609 and 60 cents, which is of course serious money. Um, so the best thing, one of the best things about vending. So there's two things that are going to be great with vending. Um, One of those is going to be just the fact that you will never be broke, and I cannot stress this enough. Never being broke gives you such freedom. If you have to replace a tire on your car, if you met a girl and you want to take her on a date, but your paycheck doesn't come for another 6 days or something like that, you can just go to one of your machines and get money out. And if it's coins from your candy machines, you could just change those out. If not at a gas station, at your local credit union, that would be the best way. So you had asked about rolling change. I never roll change. I sort through them, the quarters and the dimes, and then I would just put them in big buckets in my closet. When those really built up, I would just go to the bank, go to the coin machines. And I was talking about the other day that they don't do that at a lot of banks these days. They don't actually allow you to dump your change without charging 5%. TD Bank is doing away with their coin machines. I think they had a lot of problems with them breaking down, people complaining, and also people just kind of lounging around their banks depositing coins all day. That became a problem, I believe. So back to the slides. So you're really the best thing besides not being ever broke again is going to be that it's going to be a break from your normal routine. You're really going to like going to your machines, talking to people, bullshitting, and you're going to like bringing home all that money. It's always brought me a big sense of satisfaction. And I'm glad I still have a couple machines, even if they are still just a couple. And it gives me a break, and Luke really likes to go to the machines. You will literally have buckets full of cash, buckets full of change in your closet, and bundles full of cash. I hope you have locks, perhaps a security system in your house to protect your money. I have Luke. I have a couple guns. I'm not usually concerned. I have gotten rid of most of my cash through spending it and just through putting it in other investments. I'll do videos on those later. My business height: 57 soda machines and 33 gumball machines. Um, the math on that, I was making. Give me a second. I was making about $12,000 a month in revenue at my business height. Now remember, that was not all profit. That was about 105 to $115,000 a year profit off of my vending. So you can get big. Remember, there's also hidden costs like maintenance, like gas. When you have this many machines, you're going to be out there a lot. Contracts. You don't need contracts. Remember to tell the potential businesses that you're putting your machines in that you will they'll just have enough money to throw a pizza party for their employees. This is not just necessarily a big stream of income. You're selling your machines as convenience for their employees, not to have to go off site for their drinks, and convenience for their customers, just to feel like as a comfort station in their business. When it's like an oil change place, you want soda and maybe some candy and some snacks for their clients without them having to do the work of buying the machine, maintaining the machine, and putting actual stock in the machine. And there was one location that I didn't tell you guys about the other day, and that is I know I said I provided machines for a construction road crew that was doing work on the New York State Thruway a couple years back, and I would literally move the machine from temporary warehouse where they stored their goods, where they stored their tools, and where they hung out during lunch or after work, and I would move the machine from location to location to location as they moved up and down the New York State Thruway. This was between like exit 16 and 19 on the New York State Thruway, if anyone's ever driven on the Thruway. But one other location thing I wanted to say was when they're building a big building, maybe a skyscraper, literally, maybe a Walmart, maybe a McDonald's, maybe a Burger King, an ice skating rink, a gym, a new strip mall. There's going to be a lot of construction workers there on a daily basis, and they need drinks during lunch, especially if those locations are in the middle of nowhere or it's in a growing town. So you could literally place, I did not talk about this, and you could literally place, and I have done this 3 times, place a soda machine at the construction site, because there's going to be there's usually going to be a construction manager office or an architect office, or a collusion of both, not collusion, but a dual office for the construction manager and architect, and it's going to usually have electric that can run from outside. You can literally just plug it right into the construction office, and those make really good money. They are temporary though, so you have to have a truck to be able to move that machine, and you have to have labor, you have to have help, maybe your family, maybe your friends, and maybe your coworkers. You could pay them a couple of dollars. If not, go on Craigslist and go to the labor section and post an ad. Remember to tell these people that you're posting the ad for this help, that it's serious shit you are asking them to do. Moving machines is no joke. So the next topic I went to was vendor stealing accounts, and I talked a lot about this in length today and yesterday. And if you build relationships with the companies, with the stores, with the factories, with the cemeteries you're working with, you won't lose accounts. Only if you're neglectful will this happen. Give good service, bullshit about local sports teams, and talk about their wives with them, their girlfriends, and you'll be all good. You won't lose your accounts. So the next topic was how much machines cost. And let's go through this really, really quickly. A used soda machine is going to be between $1,300 and $1,500 used on Craigslist. If they are selling them for less, I would be wary. I would literally be wary if they're selling them for less because there could be real problems with them and they might not have been able to unload them before. You could be bouncing upon a really good deal like I did, paying $2,400 for 4 machines on location. Remember, 2 of those machines only made money, but that was an amazing deal. I'm so happy that that happened to me because it enabled me to get into soda really quickly and in a very low cost way. I hope you guys find something similar. So a used machine is going to cost between $1,300 and $1,500. Remember to thoroughly test those machines. Put a shitload of change, put a lot of dollars into those machines. I would put upwards of $25 to $30 in bills, and $10 to $20. I know I said some stupid thing like $100 in change or $50 in change yesterday. I think I was a little off. I'm not just in the head because I'm a little crazy, but put a bunch of money in there and tell them to turn the machine on before you get there, because you want to make sure, like 3 or 4 hours before they get there, because you want to make sure those machines are getting the soda cold. And if they tell you, they're not going to go through the trouble, tell them literally you're not going to go through the trouble of giving them your money that day. Goodbye. I'll find something else somewhere else. New machines are going to cost between $2,300 and $3,500 new. And that's just for the machine. You're going to pay between $200 and $400 in shipping, perhaps more. If you're going to a dealer, you might have them in your area. If you are in an industrial area, a dealer for machines, that is. But most likely you'll have to pay for shipping. Of course, you could hook up with someone on Craigslist or an independent driver site that might charge a cheaper rate to move your machine. But remember, you're going to have help once the machine gets there either way to move that machine into the location. Some of these dealers will put the machine directly in the location you've set up. So if you do not have help, remember that you are not ditched. You still will be able to get into the soda vending business, but you will have to go through a dealer and it will cost more money. Dealers sometimes sell used machines, but usually they don't. It's not a car dealership, because what they're going to do with those used machines is they're going to say, quote unquote, I hate air quotes, so I'm not going to do air quotes. They're going to say, quote unquote, that they are refurbished. They might be bullshitting with you, and these refurbished machines are usually not that much cheaper than the new machines. So in this case, I would just bite the bullet and go with the new machine. I said earlier on that candy machines, the double heads are usually better quality than the triple heads. The candy machines for a double head are going to be between $125 and $150 used, and the triple heads are going to be between $100 and $125 used. This is what you're going to pay. This is what I paid. I've even paid less. I've even paid $80 for triple heads. I am a bastard when it comes to negotiations. But they're going to try to charge you between $175 to $200, maybe $225 for the triple heads, and they're going to try to charge you upwards of $250 for the double heads, which is a new price for the double heads. And if you go to the about section of this video really quick, the best double head I can tell you that you could buy is going to be the triple pod candy vending machine on Amazon. If you want to get into this and you don't really have a good sourcing of machines on Craigslist in your area, maybe you have to drive far, this is going to be the best possible machine. If you don't have a Sam's Club or a Costco, look for good prices on Amazon for candy, for the gumballs and your Skittles and your Mike and Ike's. So getting back to that, I think we did good on the machine pricing. Let me ask some questions and then we'll go through the rest of the slides. Let's see. You're really late today. I like that, Nick. I don't, but you can just go back. Don't worry about it. What's up, Nick? I think I mentioned you earlier. Fireproof 36 gun safe. Oh, is that for my guns? Yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't like lying to you guys. I didn't have a safe for my guns. I do have Luke though, and other four-legged friends around usually. So no one's trying to get into my house. And if you guys heard the story yesterday, Luke actually got in a fight. If you guys didn't hear that story, we got in a fight on the street, and these are Luke's teeth. I'll show you guys really quick. This is you know what? I'm not going to show you my middle finger. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to do that. I'll show you this finger, my ring finger, or whatever. I'm not married, so whatever. This right here, you can see the scar. I'm so sorry for showing you the middle finger, guys. I really hate crap like that. Those are teeth marks from Luke. He did not bite me. I had to pry his jaw off of another dog's ear and neck. He didn't hurt him though, so that's great. It was more of a play grip. The dog wasn't bleeding. I was the only one in the situation bleeding. The other guy was fine. Was there some questions? The I-81 towards Syracuse is full of work. So Nick, I know you live in Syracuse. I know we have to meet up someday in the future. Definitely head there for the construction people and the actual construction sites where they do construction, maybe for strip malls and Walmarts and shopping malls and gyms and things like that. And feel free to continue asking questions, guys. So we went through pricing. So the next slide is going to be motivation. I know motivation is hard for a lot of you. Motivation is hard for me. Especially when you might be in a bad life situation, like a bad relationship. Maybe someone in your family is really sick. Maybe you're really sick. Maybe things have been going downhill for you for the past few years. I know what that's like. I'm getting up and outwards of a hole, and this is what really this vlog is about. Is me succeeding in life, and I'm so happy that I have you guys watching because it helps me out on some days. But the motivation you'll need to get out there and place machines is going to come really, really soon. Once you actually get those machines out there, and once you have a bunch of money laying around in your closet, laying around in your bank account, maybe you've paid off some bills, maybe you've paid off some student loans, maybe you've helped your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your grandparents with some car payments or some grocery money or something like that. I'm glad I warmed up. I know I was a little tight earlier. So money cut. For candy machines, for double head and triple head candy machines, you're always going to be giving them money, regardless of whatever, unless one of your family members owns the business, and you know what, that's great. And they might even tax you for some money too. They might even tax you for some money too. But the soda machines, I've only literally paid 45% of the actual money, the revenue that I've gotten from my soda machines as a profit share to the businesses I've had my soda machines placed in. And that is because a lot of those were employee based, and I was doing a service to those businesses by having the machines there. I have paid electric. I've paid no more than $6 a month. I've looked up the numbers for what these machines actually cost in electric per month. Remember, you're doing them a service. Be friendly, build relationships, and you will not get taxed, and you will not get pushed out of these locations. How often do I fill machines? Again, if you're in the northern states, you're only going to be filling machines every 7 to 9 weeks in the winter. That sucks. So if this is going to be a big majority of your income, or even your entire income, you're going to want to save that money. Maybe not take such a lavish vacation during Labor Day, and save that money up for the winter months where there's going to be a dearth, where there's going to be a lack of funds because you're not making as much in the winter. But the summer is boom time. The summer you're going to have rubber bands popping and you're going to have buckets full of change if you're doing this right, if you're getting the right locations. You'll sell literally 3 times the amount of soda during the summer. And you guys in the southern states, I'm jealous of you because you're making money all year long. So we already went through this today. Employment ID number. Get one. It's only going to benefit you. You can get untaxed soda and untaxed candy from places like Sam's Club and Costco. Doing business as it's a DBA. Get one at your town hall for $10 to $20, depending on your town or your county. You're going to have to think up an original name. If your name's taken, you have to think up something else. You can use names like, you might be able to use like the Trump Organization, literally. I would frown upon that because, you might get sued if it is a big corporate name. So, but you can use names that are not within your town or county for DBAs, not for LLCs. LLCs are actually going to be original names or variations of original names. Let's say a name was the Citizen Company, and that's an LLC. You cannot use the Citizen Company. You could say the Citizen Company squared, perhaps. So the next thing we talked about today was getting more locations. The only hard part about vending is getting locations. That is literally the only hard part. You're always going to enjoy, unless you're a lazy piece of shit, you're always going to enjoy going to your locations, collecting your change, collecting your wads of cash, and filling the machines. It's not hard work. It's not hard work. I've done work that was much harder than this, and this is not hard work. And you're always going to enjoy it, especially because you're working for yourself. There's no boss. There's no one giving you bullshit. The manager, the owner of these places aren't going to give you bullshit, especially if you're, friendly with them. I'm not saying you're going to be best friends with them, but they're going to like you. You're going to like them if you're not an asshole. Don't be an asshole. The only difficult part, again, I'll say that again, the only difficult part about this business is getting locations. The only way people fail is because they're not getting locations or they're not getting more locations. Complacency is the complacent. Don't be complacent. I can't tell you this enough. Do not be complacent. I have to just highlight this for you guys. Do not be complacent. Give me 1 second here. Complacency kills. Complacency will kill your business. Do not be complacent. Always be out there getting new machines. Businesses close. Traffic will slow down at your machines. I've had machines do $100 a month, which is not great. Soda machines that do $100 a month. And I've had those same machines. I didn't do anything different. I've had those same machines come into machines that were making $250, $275 a month just because traffic at that location changed. And it wasn't even a seasonal thing. It was just because they got more customers. They got more employees because they were working on more cars or something like that. Something changed, and something's always going to change within these businesses. So just get more machines. Complacency kills. Literally kills. It will kill your business, and you're going to have to do something else. If you're not a people person, become a people person. That will also kill your ability to be in the vending business. So really quickly, when you go into location, say, hey, what's up? My name is Tom. I've been in the area. I have a machine. So say you're kind of local, or at least allude to the fact that you might be local. I have a machine at this cemetery. I have a canning machine at this laundromat, and I saw your bus depot, and I'm getting into soda machines. I'm breaking through, and I'm a great guy, and I work at ABC Company, and I'm a veteran. My dad is a cop. My dad is on the town council next town over, something like that. And I'd love to get into your location, and I promise that this is just going to be a service to you. If you don't want to really deal with me, I'll be in and out. But otherwise, I'm going to give you great service, and you're going to like that your employees are going to stay on point, stay on site, and you're going to like that your customers have a comfort station within your business. Let's see. The next thing was location finder service, and I went into depth on this, and I will say do not use the location service. They are not looking in your best interests. They are looking in their best interests. Your best location service is going to be your mother, your father, your girlfriend, your sister, your brother, your grandparents, who might be retired. Your parents might be retired, and it'll give them something to do and something to live for, literally. I actually, talking about this right now, I wish I asked my grandfather to help me because he's always looking for something to do, but he cannot necessarily drive safely these days. But when I did start the business, he was in better health, so maybe that would have been a good idea. So if you want to get your grandparents or your parents that you're not in contact with necessarily, this would be a great idea. Get them out there, shilling and soliciting for you, and that's going to be a good deal. That's cool. That's cool, Nick. I'm never up near Syracuse, so I wouldn't know that they're doing the whole interstate. I think I've been to Syracuse. I don't even know if I've been to Syracuse. Maybe once, just driving through. Maybe I stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know. I am a fatty, so I probably did. So let me know. I will go through the links really quick, just so that you guys pepper me with questions, because this is going to be the end of the stream. I will just go through the links just to buy us a little time. But this is going to be the end of the series, unless I think of some great thing tomorrow. But I probably won't, because I have a lot to do to prepare for the trail. And I'll say that too. If you guys like my videos, if you've learned today, please share my videos. I want to grow this channel. So email your friends a couple links to my videos, your family members, your coworkers. Give them the link to my videos, or just email them my name, and they could just search that on Google or YouTube. That would be awesome. I'm never going to ask you guys for money. I'm not going to do a GoFundMe campaign. I don't believe in that. If you can't create on YouTube without your own money that you've earned, I think you shouldn't be asking the public for money. If I'm selling something like t-shirts in the future, which I might do, I'm just giving you an example, then that's fine, because I'm providing something for that money. But I'm not Picasso, so I'm not going to ask you for money. Are you doing another live tomorrow? 30%, Nick, 30%. If I come up with something great, if I'm inspired to do something about passive income or ATM machines, I might. But I spent a lot of time preparing for these, and I hope you guys like them. And I don't have any more time to spare right now. But after the trail, I will be producing a lot of life content, business-wise and life-wise in general. But I wanted to say also that I hope you guys watch the trail videos and share those, and I hope it inspires you to get in shape if you're not in shape. I hope to last at least a month on the trail, if not 2 months or longer, and your support is really going to help me when I'm out there. So please watch the videos, please comment, and just tell me that you're watching, and tell me that you want me to succeed, and I think there'll be a better chance that I'll succeed. And I don't want to say this again, because like I don't want this to be my downfall, but the only thing I'm really worried about there is water. I'm not worried about food. I'm not worried about falling. I know those things might come to fruition, but I'm worried about water. I drink a lot of water, as you see on this stream, and I don't know. The only problem I encountered on my test hikes was water. So let me go through the links really quick, in case you guys have any questions. Again, these are in the description. These links are in the description, really quick, of the video, and you could find them. You could find them at the bottom. This is to read the passive income books for free. It's right at the top, and some of the other ones, like the triple head gumball machine, and the double heads are in there. I would read these books if you can. Again, the link to get free reading for a month is right here. And these are some of the books. I've gone through them already. These are some of the machines. I wouldn't necessarily buy one of these, but I would get this machine if I was going to start out right today. I would get this machine as a triple head. It is from a great company, OYPC. This will last years. I have one from the same company, a double head, and it has lasted me literally 7 years. So I would go with that. Again, books, and if you want to get free shipping from Amazon, the link is below at the bottom of this description. Free shipping, you can get Prime for a month. Remember, if you don't want to have Prime after that, then you will just remember to stop that subscription so that you're not charged again. Yeah, I almost died once. Yeah, the bear. Water. Need to bring a lot with me. Well, the thing is, I can't bring that much. I'm going to have to source it from streams. Source it. Listen to me, I'm talking business-wise. I'm going to have to get it from streams and ponds and lakes and maybe some small rivers if they're not saltwater. I don't think I'll really encounter that many rivers. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me see if there's any more questions that I missed. I will do a masterclass eventually. We'll just see if there's any questions I missed, guys. No, there's no more questions that I missed. I think I covered everything. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching these streams. Thank you for supporting my channel. Please share some videos and share my subscription link, which you could also find in the bottom of today's video. Thank you again. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are watching this video after the fact, after my stream, send me an email to Viggo Bauman, VIGGO BAUMAN @gmail.com, and I'll answer your questions, or you could just leave a comment below for everyone to see, and I will answer your comments. But thank you again, and I will see you very soon. Perhaps tomorrow with the stream, but probably not. But if no stream, probably a video tomorrow or Saturday. I will be leaving on the trail very, very soon. Thank you again. Have a good night, and enjoy your weekend.